Hey guys, welcome to the sixth episode of the Dapper Gaming Podcast with me, your host Ryan, and only Tyler this week.
Just Tyler.
Just Tyler.
Wah, wah, wah.
Huge disappointment.
Yeah.
I don't blame you if you just turn off the podcast now.
Just don't even.
You can
don't even
skip
listen.
this episode. I give you permission, even though this is probably the only episode where we've really got a lot to talk about in like the last month.
Yeah, it's true.
Which is surprising, I guess, or
A bit.
it's not really surprising. It's disappointing that this is like the first one where we've had like anything to talk about of like all of the podcasts, because like it's episode 6 and we've literally had nothing to talk about except for that other podcast where we talked about the PlayStation 4.
Is that the one that didn't happen?
No, that's the one that did happen. It's up. It was like episode 4.
Oh.
And it was just Jeff and I bitching about architecture.
Oh, I was. Yeah.
Yeah.
I do remember that.
Yeah. So this week we're literally just going to talk PlayStation 4 for like an hour and a half. Well, we're going to talk about what games we've been playing, and then we're going to talk PlayStation 4. So, what have you been playing this week, Tyler?
Battlefield 3. Finally hopped on that train. It was kind of a ways out. And I was kind of like just ran and caught up with it. So I don't know. I got mixed reviews about it. I like it. I don't like vehicles most of the time. I mean, that's a big part of that game, so it's kind of disappointing. But
It's like the big sell, but to be honest, I never really liked them in 2 either.
no, I feel like they're not balanced well. I mean, I am
They
just
aren't.
starting, and I'm just playing. But I mean, I know shooters pretty well. That's like one of the main types of games I play, and it's just helicopters and tanks run amok while if you're trying to snipe, it's just kind of frustrating because you can't really defend yourself. In Bad Company 2, I played that quite a bit actually, and snipers got a mortar strike they could call down. That was awesome because it kind of gave you a little bit of anti-tank measure, so you could kind of defend yourself if you're under fire. Now, I think they don't have that at all for snipers. You're solely just a sniper, and that with no like any kind of like heavy support. So
Yeah,
It's
but
kinda
it's more like Battlefield 2 in that respect.
yeah,
Which
it's
is kind of something that I wanted to see, because like the ground combat in Battlefield 2 was always better than what it was in Bad Company 2.
right. It's more of a Bad Company 2 felt more Call of Duty-ish.
Yeah.
You know, this feels good. I like the combat. I forgot about the hardcore mode and the non-hardcore mode. That I don't know when they started that, but I played it in Bad Company, and once I discovered like hardcore
It
mode, what
started
it
in
was,
Bad Company.
did it? Yeah. Well,
I've never liked it in modern military shooters because you just get like raped from behind a lot.
like you don't like using it then?
No, because you just get one-shotted and you never like see who the fuck killed you. Like you
Well,
don't have a
that's-
chance to respond. You just die.
Yeah, I like that though, because I snipe a lot, so I can get picked out easy. Like the whole spotting system kind of bugs me in that game, where you just get a giant triangle over your head if someone sees you and they press a button. It's kind of it's okay. I mean, it does prevent camping. Same with the kill cam. If they took kill cams out, I think it would be fine. I would be fine with like a couple shot kills, like in normal mode as opposed to hardcore. If you didn't have a kill cam, it's kind of annoying. I think you can like tweak servers to do that too, so it's not really like a set in stone thing. But yeah, I've been playing that. That's fun. I played some Counter Strike though, and I realized how much I like that game more than most shooters.
It's
It's
like
just
the only FPS that I really enjoy anymore.
yeah, it's the community I like, and it's just the maps are good. They're not cluttered down. That's the thing is, I know Call of Duty is more of like a military style shooter, where Counter Strike tends to be more arcadey in a sense. And it's just all the clutter is not in those maps on Counter Strike, and it's so nice. You can see your enemy.
Yeah,
They're
especially
not,
like the pro maps where they remove all the
Remove-
boxes and shit.
yeah, that's definitely true. I've only played a couple of those, but like
It's
seen
my
previews of
preferred
them.
way to play if I'm like playing in a not pub style game.
Right. It's
Otherwise, I don't really have a preference because getting stuck in barrels is hilarious.
yeah, that's true. Or getting doors stuck on your body. It's
Yeah.
pretty funny. Yeah. But yeah, I just appreciate that style of game, and it's fun. I did okay this week. I've been kind of playing like crap lately, but other than that, I've been playing a lot of Minecraft. Uh, kind of getting addicted, but kind of losing. Like I kind of made my house, and then I'm done. That
Tech
type of
it.
deal.
Install Tech it.
Well, that's the thing. We have a server, and I kind of want to install it, but I don't want to lose everything. So I don't think I would, but I haven't really looked too much into it. So
You got to
hope
use a
this.
custom launcher. So
It's so
you'd
it's
have to
like
convince everyone to install Tech it,
I don't think it would
but
take.
it's worth it.
It really wouldn't be that hard, to be honest.
It makes the game
Um,
more gamey, if that makes any sense. Like, there's just
with
more stuff to
just
do.
more of a purpose.
Yeah.
There's no. Well, that's the thing is like when I try to get people into it and just tell them like it's a building game, they're like, well, what's the point of it? What's the end game? I'm like, there isn't one. It's just you build. But
Yeah, but
I
you can
mean,
build more, like, it's not even a matter. Okay, it doesn't
okay,
give it, like, more purpose. You can just build cooler shit.
cool.
Like, there's more moving
Yeah.
parts, and there's just more moving everything. And so, like, stuff automates in Tekkit, where it
Yeah.
doesn't really in default Minecraft.
I know that the next update's the Redstone update, which is supposed to add more power to the circuits and make those more complex. So I'm kind of interested in seeing that because that's one part I really like messing with is trying to make cool like trapdoors and stuff. But you do realize like it's really limited, and if you're saying tech it adds to that, I might be interested because that stuff always interests me. But
Well, you can
it's
build,
just
like, automated drills and, like, mining machines and stuff, and you can build,
yeah,
like, just tons of stuff. Like, pumps, oil pumps and stuff, because they add oil as, like, a... You have to, like, build power plants to power the stuff and, like, hook up electricity to everything.
hmm.
So, like, you have to start huge, like, a manufacturing chain of sorts.
It sounds pretty neat. It yeah, because the way the game's set up, it's like it works, but I don't know. I just don't feel accomplished once you get diamonds, you make a diamond pickaxe. It's simple. It's not like I don't know. There's not that there should be more steps, but it feels yeah, I don't know, too shallow. But other than that, I don't really think I've been playing too much else. I tried to get into The Witcher 2, but I haven't had really a lot of time to just sit down and play it, which you kind of need.
Yeah, it's a long game, especially if you're doing, like, side quests and stuff.
Yeah, and I haven't been in that mood really to play it, so it's kind of it's not like I just hop in and play a game. It's kind of like devote an hour to play it, so I haven't really touched it too much. But
Yeah, like, The
yeah,
Witcher 2 is a game where... Well, just RPGs in general as, like, a genre is, like, you lock yourself in a room for a couple days and, like, beat the whole thing.
yeah, and I haven't really had too much time to do that. So, but I want to get around to it because I still haven't beat that game, and Witcher 3 got announced, so I probably should hop on that pretty quick. But that's not till what 2014 that's coming out, or is that?
Yeah, it's not until next year. It's supposed to be next gen, so...
Oh,
Like, when they
they'll
announced
probably
it, they're like, there's no way it can work on current gen, so it's high-end PCs and other high-end consoles.
high-end console, 3DS.
Man, 3DS is awesome.
It's pretty powerful. Yeah, that's about it for me though for this week. What about you?
The Monster Hunter Tri Ultimate HD demo came out on Wii U and 3DS, so I
Whoa.
played that because Monster Hunter is awesome, and in a perfect world, there'd be like all games would just be Monster Hunter.
Um,
Uh,
could,
okay. I'm sorry. Like, pretty much they announced like that game was gonna come out on Wii U, and then I bought a Wii U.
was Monster Hunter Tri already got released like
Yeah,
a
but
while ago, didn't it? What's
yeah,
this?
it was for Wii. It was a Wii exclusive.
Okay.
But this is Monster Hunter Tri Ultimate. So Monster Hunter works like Pokemon in that there's like generations of monsters. And so like this is like Black and White 2 basically for Monster Hunter.
Okay. That makes sense.
So it's just like it's still third generation monsters from Monster Hunter, but like it's a new game.
Hmm. Any
I'm
is it
super
any good?
Yes, the demo is shit if you haven't played Monster Hunter before, because
Yeah.
the thing about Monster Hunter is that it usually takes about 2 to 3 hours to start up, and so in this they just plop you down in the middle of it, and they don't tell you what to do, or give you any instructions, or tell you the controls, or teach you. They basically don't teach you how to play because they just want to show you what it's like to fight big ass monsters and kill them, because that's all you do in the game. Like there's not really much direction to it.
Hmm.
It's about just killing big monsters and then like taking their body parts to make equipment out of. Because like that game has a really like that game's all about crafting, so that you can kill bigger monsters.
Yeah.
And so like the demo is bad for new players because it doesn't teach them how to play. So if you've never played Monster Hunter, you're just like plopped down in the middle of the game and you have no clue what's going on or what you're supposed to do and have no direction. But as a demo for like people who have already played it, you're like basically it's pretty much amazing.
It seems like a title that has a lot of weight to it too. So like the following, I
It
feel
doesn't
like
have a lot of weight in North America, but it has it over like in Europe and Japan. Like this should be a huge system seller for the Wii U.
this isn't like a pre-order only, right? It's more of
No, it's a real release because
a
Monster
release.
Hunter's
Okay.
still big enough in North America to like sit on store shelves.
Okay.
Unlike games like Xenoblade
Right.
or Pandora's Tower, which comes out in March, like the 23rd of March. I had to pre-order that because I know that like I'm not gonna be able to buy it otherwise. But yeah, I'm super excited for Monster Hunter, especially now that we're only a month away from release.
Yeah.
So
Coming up quick.
yeah, and then I'll finally have some like Wii U games to play really consistently that aren't fucking
Like
Dynasty
launched.
Warriors games or Dynasty Warrior like games,
Yeah.
because they're, even though they're hilarious and I love them, they're like the only games I have for Wii U because they're like the only thing that's coming out. It's like Warriors Orochi and Fist of the North Star Ken's Rage 2 are like my mainstays on the Wii U right now.
Yeah. And then the
Um,
fact that Rayman got delayed.
yeah, I'm not even gonna buy that now.
Oh.
Not well. It's just like I would have bought it because there's like nothing out that I want to play right now. But by the time that comes out, I'm gonna have two fucking Monster Hunter games
Oh.
because you're gonna have Monster Hunter Tri Ultimate for the Wii U and for the 3DS. But there's also Monster Hunter 4 coming out for 3DS.
Uh-oh.
So, and like they're coming out kind of like near the holiday season.
Okay.
And so as a result, like there's going to be so many more games to play
Right. That's
that
big.
I'm not going to have time to go play a fucking platformer.
Right. It's gonna be kind of outshadowed.
Yeah. So I'm not going to have any interest in playing it probably by that time. I mean, I might buy it, beat it, and do a review on it, but we'll have to see what pricing's like. Cause I'll pay $30 for that game. I won't pay a full 60 if it's like, which I think it should be like a full price release, and then I
Yeah.
just don't have any interest in it. Plus, you have the new Super Mario Bros. U DLC coming out this year that doubles the size of the game.
Really.
Yeah,
Is
and
that
that's
kind of the track they're gonna take? Is because I know they did like Galaxy and Galaxy 2. Are they gonna kind of more release content rather than just a brand new game?
uh this piece of DLC is supposed to like make it so that you play as Luigi instead of Mario.
Oh, that's the. Oh, I thought he was getting like a whole new like game, not just.
He has Luigi's Mansion 2 coming out.
Yeah, that's. Is that 3DS only or is that
Yeah,
Wii
that's a
U?
3DS only game.
That's kind of a bummer.
Yeah. Yeah, it is. I'm gonna have to buy a 3DS next month. And by next month, I mean like in 2 weeks or something.
I thought you already had one.
I don't have a 3DS yet.
Shoot.
I'm gonna have to get one though in like a couple weeks because there's some games on there that I really want to play. And if you get like like Luigi's Mansion. But if you get like a 3DS plus Luigi's Mansion or the like new Pokemon game,
Hmm.
then you get, and not when I say the new one, I mean like that like rogue like dungeon crawling RPG. That's Pokemon.
What?
It doesn't matter. I'm gonna, because I'm not getting that game. I'm getting Luigi's Mansion. But if you get like a 3DS and Luigi's Mansion, then you get like another game for free, and you can get the Mario game or a Professor Layton game for free, and they're totally worth it. Plus, I really want Fire Emblem.
Mm. That's been getting like a lot of attention lately.
Yeah, because it's really good.
Never played any of those titles.
Well, it's another
But
JRPG. So I mean, if you don't like JRPGs like Final Fantasy and stuff, then you won't like it. But it's not
is
like
it?
Final Fantasy 13, the hallway.
Oh, is it? Is it the style of combat it used to be, where like it's kind of like a grid and you move
Yeah.
around? Okay, I like that. I haven't really seen too many games like that. That I, at least that I played, but
Yeah, the 3DS had like a lot of good stuff on it, but I mean, kind of like the Wii, North Americans don't know what the fuck they're looking at,
yeah.
so they buy like bad games. I don't know. I think that adults who game like will buy, who like own the 3DS, know what they're looking at and like buy the right stuff, but kids don't have a clue.
No, they
And
definitely buy those shoveled out games that are just like games based on their cartoons they watch, and
yeah,
you
they
don't.
buy shovelware and it's terrible.
Yeah, that's what companies thrive on. Yeah.
But no, I really like the 3DS. I think that I've been kind of holding out on buying one because I wanted to wait until they released one that had a second analog stick, or well, a second circle pad,
Yeah.
because there's like a circle pad add-on for a second one, and
Yeah.
it's kind of necessary for some games because like any 3D platforming, you basically need the second circle pad. And so I've
Right.
just been waiting for a revision where it has already built in, but they haven't released one, and I kind of want to get an XL because they're comfortable.
Yeah. Do they not have a like add-on for the XL, or do they?
Yeah, they have, it uses the same add-on.
Oh, okay. Hmm. Yeah, the add-on looks pretty sleek though. It's just kind of like a side that like attaches to, it just attaches on, right?
Yeah.
Um, Kind of a weird that they wouldn't add that just to the hardware itself, but at least they made an effort to put it out.
Yeah, I'd like to just see it on there. They'll probably eventually do it, but I don't want to wait forever. Plus, I have to do some traveling in the near future, so I think it's like a reasonably okay investment because it means I can just like play 3DS games and write reviews. Like, I won't need to do videos on them because there's no way to record it, but I can just write stuff up about it.
Yeah, that'd be good. It's a good time waste, not waster, but a time passer.
Sync.
Sync.
Sorry, there's very loud traffic driving by because it's like fucking 4 o'clock where I live.
Rush hour.
Yeah.
That's
Even though
fine.
it's a Sunday. It's
Oh,
just like everyone going home for dinner.
going to church at
That's what you
4 o'clock.
do at 4 o'clock at night in the afternoon.
Yeah, yeah,
Go to church.
pretty sure. You've been playing
Yeah.
anything else this week?
Yeah, I played all the old Kirby games last night. Like, I had a bunch of people over at my place last night to watch the Ronda Rousey fight and the Lyoto Machida Henderson fight.
All right.
Because Lyoto Machida. Well, I bought that pay per view because Lyoto Machida is my favorite fighter. I love watching him fight because he's got that karate style. And I like to fight. And I compete in contact karate. So I fight in the same style he fights in.
He's
So
like
I really like
inspiration then.
watching it. But they were all over, and like after we played Kirby's Retreat. Kirby's. You hear that, right?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
definitely heard
Okay.
that.
So, well, it stopped. We played Kirby's Return to Dreamland, which is like a really good 4-player game on the Wii.
Never. I don't think I've even heard of that.
It was like the new Kirby game that they released on the Wii. Like, it was like the reboot to the franchise or whatever you want to call it.
Yeah, was
And
that Was that like a long time before? Because Epic Yarn came out kind of near the end of its life, right?
Yeah,
And
it
then
was before Epic Yarn,
okay,
and it
like
looks and plays like a traditional Kirby game.
side scroll, like 3D side scroller, or
It's a side scroller and it's rendered in 3D, so I guess it's 2.5D. But it
okay.
doesn't do like a lot of the shit that 2.5D platformers do. So
Hmm.
you don't
But
really get. It's a Kirby game.
it's
You suck things up and shoot stars out of your mouth and absorb
can you
power
change it?
ups.
You can absorb. That was the coolest
Well,
thing
that's
about.
all you do in Kirby. That's like the core concept of Kirby.
I to be honest, I've played Tilt and Tumble and the one for 64 that I can't remember, but that one was awesome.
But
So
yeah, it was super fun. It's a better four-player like 2D platformer than the Mario games that they released on the Wii and the Wii U, because those ones like get harder as you add more people to the game.
because you don't you like bump each other?
Yeah.
No.
And so it makes it fucking hard. And in Kirby's like Return to Dreamland with four people, like it doesn't do that. It makes it like less chaotic, but you can play it just smoother than if you
Yeah.
play it like the Mario game. So it was fun. It was a good time. And then I also got like the Kirby's Dream Collection, which is just all the old Kirby games on Wii, and that's also four-player, so we played some of those.
Really?
Yeah,
Damn.
and those were fun.
Solid night at Kirby.
Yeah, pretty much that's all we did when once the fights were over. We just played Kirby games. We beat Dreamland in like a sitting, so
Damn.
yeah, we
That's
played Kirby for like 8 hours. Uh, Besides that, I played a lot of Crisis. I beat Crisis 3.
Ugh. Is
What?
there is there a well, because I haven't played those games in a while, but I kind of really want to. I don't even have two actually. I just have Warhead and
2
Crisis.
sucks anyways, it doesn't matter.
Well, did the same company make three?
Y- Yeah. Well,
Oh,
they're all made by
Crytek.
Crytek.
Yeah, never mind. That's really
So 2 sucked because it was too linear, the graphics were worse, and
yeah,
it was really linear. It just sucked. It was like Crisis Call of Duty edition.
yeah. That's what like the multiplayer. I don't really think is a strong point of that game
No, the
anymore.
multiplayer sucks. It was bad in 2, it's even bad in 3. It was
Oh,
bad in 1, but at least it was interesting. It wasn't Call of Duty. Like the
yeah,
thing is that not only is it a style of multiplayer FPS I don't like, they don't do it as well as Call of Duty.
yeah.
So why the fuck is it there?
Right.
And
But
like
like story wise and everything, is it good?
uh mechanically the game is better than the second one in single player. It's also better like with just kind of how the levels are laid out. Like 2 I would describe as walking down a hallway, like it's a corridor shooter.
Yeah,
3 I wouldn't really describe as a corridor shooter, but it's not like a return to form for the company in that it's still not open world like Far Cry 1 and Crisis 1,
yeah.
but it's more like walking through a series of really big rooms rather than like a hallway.
It takes is the main like plot still in what New York City still, or
Yeah.
it's like but it's overrun and kind of like
It's not
naturalized.
there's no okay, there's aliens there, but there's not aliens there. It's like a power facility for it's like a power plant for this company that like now owns the world and like rules over everyone with money.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I
And then aliens.
yeah, seriously, I liked Crisis, and then I like certain aspects of the alien world, like the Crisis One, like adding what zero gravity and that whole realm where you're kind of in like their mothership type deal.
Oh
That was
yeah.
that was really neat, and the level design was crazy, but I got really tired really quick of playing against aliens
Yeah.
compared to humans.
I
So
Same thing in Crisis 3.
yeah,
You get like halfway through and then there's aliens, but the aliens are like better than they were in Crisis 1.
Yeah, they're not just the blue guys. I was watching, I don't know if it was like just like a trailer for it, but like the grass level or like there's like those sneaky
That's
guys running
really
around.
near the beginning.
Is it?
Yeah,
Okay.
that's like the second level.
That
And
that
then
looked
there's
pretty.
like no more aliens until for like another 4 levels.
Huh. It
That
looks
part's
pretty neat.
stressful. It made me feel really tense.
Like when they're sneaking up on you.
Yeah, because like you can't see them at all, so you're just like hearing ruffling around in the grass. But because the grass is so high, you can't see where the fuck you're going.
Yeah.
So you're like trying to figure out a way to like get to where you need to go without being in the grass too long.
Hmm. That sounds pretty neat.
Yeah,
Um, there's one part I wanted to touch on, but I can't remember. Whatever.
it's it's pretty good. I don't think it's worth the full price because the multiplayer is really shit
That's
and the
it.
campaign's not as good as the first one, and I don't think it has like the same amount of replayability.
It's not. Is it pretty short of a campaign? I mean, did you
Five
beat
to
it?
7 hours. 5 if you're really grinding through it. 7 if you're taking your time.
I'm pretty sure that's a full price $60 game, isn't it?
It is.
That's-
And
Yeah,
because I pre-ordered it be off fucking Origin and they're assholes, they don't let you buy the regular edition until like 3 weeks after the game's been out. Then you fucking had to pay 70.
ugh,
They don't
link.
sell the regular edition on Origin. They only sell the digital deluxe until like a month after the game's been out. It's
Man,
fucking stupid. I hate that shit.
oh, I absolutely hate Origin. I played the demo for Battlefield 3 or the beta for it a long time ago, and then I was like, okay, whatever, don't have to deal with that until I bought Battlefield 3 again, and I'm like, I absolutely hate this system. It makes complete no sense
I
whatsoever
don't
to me.
mind the Origin system. It's the
Mm,
exact same thing as Steam. It's just that there's some things like their store is bad. And so I only use it when I have to use it. And
they
then
don't really
with Battlefield 3, the like web browser server finder is fucking awful.
it's yeah,
It's the
it just
worst
makes it
thing.
too like why do I need to go onto a web page to play single player campaign? Why can't I
It
just boot
doesn't
it
work
from
a lot of the time and it's laggy.
it's it's just a rough system. It's kind of hard to navigate to find. I canceled the download on accident, and then to add like to re-download like the DLC that I was downloading, I kind of had to like actually had to look up where to go, and it wasn't really like hidden, but it wasn't anywhere you would think to go, so it's kind of frustrating. But I guess it's fairly new, so I guess I give them that. But at
I
the
like
same
that you can
time,
hide games in your library.
really, what?
Yeah, you can like right click on them and add them to your hidden list. That way, if you like download a demo, you can like get rid of
Oh,
it. Same thing with betas.
yeah, that'd be nice because I have some games that I don't want to play on Steam ever.
Yeah,
Like
same with
bad,
me. I
like
would like
Bad
Bad
Rats.
Rats, like
Oh,
World Basketball Manager 2010,
such such great games.
AAA quality, 49 cents. Best
Uh,
deal on Steam.
I saw someone with a avatar of a from Bad Rats, like a mouse in a tractor. I was just like, why?
Did you play
Uh,
it?
no, I didn't play it yet.
Play it.
I need to.
Play
I'll get
it.
my first review.
Your first review will be Bad Rats.
Yeah, I'm feeling it.
Yeah, I need to start doing like more writing. I'm gonna do writing on the site when I fucking manage to defeat spam bots. I had to turn off account registration because even with really hard reCAPTCHA, I couldn't fucking stop the spam bots.
Really?
Yeah,
Well,
not a fun thing.
no.
But yeah, as far as Crisis 3 goes, like it's better than the second one, but it's not worth $60 because the single player is really bad. It's about grinding out and getting the good guns because the guns are bad, like really poorly balanced, and also getting the good perks because the perks are really poorly balanced. So when you start, you're just fucked. And so it's like really grinding out guns, and you get screwed over a lot because people who are invisible just shoot you from behind.
Yeah.
And
That's like
all the team-based stuff is just dudes camping with a sniper rifle and camping with the bow.
is the bow pretty
It's a one
overpowered?
shot on everyone.
Sounds amazing. Yeah, I don't. I'm done with progression systems. Like I just want my guns. I want to play. I don't want to like. work for it.
Well, it hampers the skill thing, and it artificially lengthens like like game time.
The amount of time you'll spend playing.
Yeah.
That's
But the
true.
thing is that like for me, I don't have a lot of time, so it doesn't extend it. It means I turn it on, say, oh, progression system, turn it off.
Yeah, it's
Like if I wasn't reviewing Crisis 3, I would have never fucking played the multiplayer because I turned it on, played one round, and I was like, this is fucking awful. And then I
yeah.
played for another 3 hours.
It's kind of surprising they even added it in. Like one storyline and like the main game was enough to justify that game. Like
It didn't have multiplayer at first. Someone like modded
one
it on.
really.
Yeah, it was really
Oh,
broken and not good, but
well, I mean, they did it right the first time, but that's kind of a series I would have liked to seen like carry on with what it did originally. But
console gamers. I saw someone bitching the other day that Metal Gear Rising Revengeance wasn't multiplayer online.
why? Like that game looks so fun to me, and I don't get why.
It's okay. It's not like amazing, it's not bad though either. But like
Yeah,
people seriously won't buy games that don't have multiplayer online. It's
I
like
mean,
what then why buy games that aren't Call of Duty and Halo cuz you know that everything
ah,
else doesn't have it, right?
right. It's that's frustrating to see too. But I was actually like thinking about that today. Like there needs to be more good, like, just quality single player games out there that just get released that aren't like RPGs. You know, I mean, it's
Yeah.
kind
Well, you can't make a good FPS campaign with the way, like with the current model where you heavily script everything, which is my biggest problem with Crisis 3 is that there's still a lot of scripting.
of okay. I mean, Grand Theft Auto doesn't really look amazingly promising. That's going to be big, but
Yeah, but it's not an FPS, so I'm not really
yeah.
worried about it.
Battlefield 3 campaign is surprisingly fun to me. I haven't played the campaign in a while, like for most shooters, and it it doesn't take it like so far fetched as Black Ops does, and it keeps you more in like the like realm of reality. Which I mean, that game is based. It's a more realistic than that, like a Call of Duty. So it's pretty fun. That's what I played today. It's, it's still not like I don't know. It's really disappointing in the fact that there's a lot of those scenes where like you have to do a certain like it's really scripted.
Yeah.
You do yeah, it's that's the frustrating part. That and that game's really dark. Like it's like
Yeah, it is.
I don't know. It's kind of I need colors now. I need maps with colors. I need to start playing more gun game like Counter Strike. I can't stand looking at the same battle scene constantly. Everything looks the same in that game. But that's my tangent.
Yeah, besides Crisis, I guess back to my Wii because I got a ton of games on Wii this week. I got like a big box of games in the mail.
Shoot.
I got 12 games for like $100.
Dang.
And it was worth it because they weren't like shovelware games. It was stuff like Akami, Resident Evil 4, Dead Space Extraction, which is fucking perfectly good because light gun games. I want to get the House of the Dead game as well because it's got better pacing. But I've been playing Mario Galaxy 1 and I'm gonna beat that. It's really good.
Yeah.
Like,
I missed out on so many good titles for the Wii. But like that one.
yeah, Mario Galaxy 1 just it's really awesome. I'm having a ton of fun playing with that game. The reason why I've been playing that one, like I bought it online for $15, which is perfectly worth the price. The reason why I bought that one, I don't own Galaxy 2 yet. I'm gonna buy it soon, but people said that Galaxy 2 makes Galaxy 1 kind of unplayable because of like these small gameplay things that they fix. And even though I will believe that, Galaxy 1 is so good that like I don't want to ruin that experience because
Right.
Galaxy 1 like this is one of the best games I've played in a really long time. So,
It's kind of surprising. I mean, I don't know.
I guess
I,
that's kind of like the bonus to having bought my Wii U really early and there not being any fucking games for it until Monster Hunter Tri Ultimate is that I have the time to go and like play all these games that I didn't get to play.
that's true. Yeah, I kind of want to revisit the Wii a little bit, start playing those games more. But
Dolphin.
like the oh,
Because
I could
Wii remotes connect through Bluetooth.
Bluetooth, right?
Yeah.
Shit, I could do that.
You could run that on your desktop probably pretty easy.
Yeah.
Get a sensor bar. You can buy a wireless one online for like $5. You can buy them at EB Games and GameStop for like 10 or 15.
I don't even need to plug that in, do I?
No, they just use batteries. You put it on top of the monitor. Just use a Wii controller.
That would work pretty fine. Yeah, because like I didn't play Skyward Sword. And I didn't.
Well, Skyward Sword is arguably not good.
I still want to play it. I mean, wait. Oh shit, never mind. That's good. The new the remake for the Wind Waker is on the Wii U, right?
Yeah.
I guess it would only make sense to go back. Never mind. Maybe I'll just get a Wii U because I want to play that really bad. And
yeah, I don't think the price is going to go down on it, but I mean, I don't think that $350 is unreasonable for that system.
For the hardware you get with it, I think is very well priced.
Well, especially for like a launch, like we're in the launch window for the console.
Right.
And it launched at $350. It didn't launch at $500 or $600 and go down. It launched at $350 and it's been $350 since. For the deluxe edition, at least, which is worth it because if you own the deluxe one, you get 10% back on your all your online purchases. So
for how long? Like always?
Ever.
Or? Yeah, that's that. It comes with what?
And it comes with a game.
It comes with that one game that you love, right? I don't know what.
It came with Nintendo Land. I think it comes with Zombie U now. I think Nintendo Land is a really good party game. I think it's better than any of the Mario Party games. So.
Wow.
But I think that like Nintendo Land was a super big surprise for me, and I kind of fell in love with it at PAX. So,
yeah.
Well, PAX and E3, mostly E3. Did I see? I can't even remember if I saw it at PAX, but I did see it at E3. Funnily enough, I went to E3 and didn't get paid for anything that I did there because I stupidly didn't tell Kirk. Who was also there.
Really?
Yeah.
Nice.
Well done, me. Well, yeah. I couldn't really do any work back then because I didn't have a camera or a mic or anything. Like, I mean, I didn't have a portable mic. I have a recording set up for doing, like, conventions now.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I saw it at E3. It was awesome. And I pretty much was like, well, I'm just going to buy a Wii U because there's all these really great launch games for it. Or, well, not launch games, but games, like, down the line. Like, in the pipeline. So, I've been, I think that $350 is, like, a really good price for that system. I think that it's going to get buried and kind of forgotten because, at least in North America, because people are either complaining it's not powerful enough, and so because it's only a little bit stronger than like the PS3 and the 360 and the in the GPU, and I think the CPU is weaker.
But I mean, when you're buying a Nintendo console, though, I think you realize
you buy for like first party and like some of the third party stuff. Like you buy stuff that's highly stylized.
You don't buy it, which is. It's just always been like a huge debate, and I never really got it because a lot of people complained about like the Wii not having good looking graphics, and then I think like the first game to kind of come out that like visually looked appealing was, at least to me, was Twilight Princess.
Yeah, but it's like a style thing versus fidelity thing.
Yeah, right.
The Wii never had any good fidelity like game, like any high fidelity games. Everything was low-fi because it was all like 480p. Like low-res textures, like you had to stylize the shit out of it to hide the problems. And that's like we're well past that stage with the 360 and the PS3, but some people don't want stylized games. And the reason why is like they think they look kiddie. And I think one of the reasons why like the Wii really hurt itself was that it looked like it was a console for kids. Even like the cases for the games looked like games for kids. even for games that were definitely not for kids.
Yeah. No,
And so,
that's I definitely agree with that. But
and the thing about like stuff that looks like it's for kids is that even kids don't want to look like they're fucking kids.
yeah,
So,
that's a good point. But I mean, like, still those people that do realize like that you're not buying a Nintendo console for power probably appreciate it still. So
yeah, I think that just in general, a lot of people don't understand like what kind of an upgrade it is, and like that it's not just like an add-on or something like that.
yeah,
Like it's a whole new thing, and a lot of people don't understand like one of the complaints that I saw is that people were complained that they would have to buy too many controllers for it because of the gamepad. They're like, "What? I can't afford four of these, so I can get four gamepads." It's like it only
the
works
only
with one.
yeah. I think that might have been a like miscommunication. I mean,
Well, like the casual market doesn't understand what it is, and the hardcore market doesn't have a respect for it because it's not powerful enough to like do any of the third party exclusives that they're in, or well, not exclusive, but any of the third party titles they're like looking for.
Call of Duty stuff like that. Yeah,
Pretty much. So, do you want to start PS4 talk now?
yeah. Let's get into it.
So, I think like the first thing that we might as well talk about, I guess, is hardware because I think it's the thing that matters the least, but also matters the most. If that makes any sense.
Yeah, no, I mean,
It's the thing that they talked about like the most and that they're marketing on. So
it's more behind the scenes stuff. After you like, you're like, okay, well, it's gonna be powerful, whatever. I'm forget about it.
yeah, sadly,
Plus,
it turns out the things that like Jeff and I were worried about are all true. But if you want to watch that podcast, I think it's podcast number 4, like an hour in. It's just Jeff and I like bitching. It's like an hour 20.
it's a pretty big grant.
Yeah, sadly, everything that we didn't want to see in next gen consoles seems to be there in the PlayStation 4. So, hardware wise, we were looking at 8 cores with a low clock speed around 1.6. Actually, I have it here. I was looking at it. Shit. I've lost it. Oh, they don't have the clock speed. They just have like what it can push out in total. So, it can push out 1.84 teraflops with the APU, which is like the GPU, which is based on Jaguar. It's 8 cores and x86.
Yeah.
Paired with a graphics card, a Radeon graphics card.
A next generation Radeon.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
So basically, it's just
says.
a modification of the APU. The APUs that they like released for desktops and tablets and stuff, which turned out to not be very good on PC, but whatever. Maybe they'll work better in this. It just kind of sucks that we're looking at like 8 not very strong cores because we're gonna see like 2 or 3. Okay, well, we're gonna see at least 2 go to the operating system probably because of like they're only 1.6 gigs.
Yeah.
And then we're going to see like maybe 4 available for games, which is still probably a better architecture than what we had last gen with the PS3 because the cell processor was terrible. Was not a good thing, was never a good idea. But it kind of sucks to see like these really weak, like lots of cores, but really weak single processing because it makes it hard to develop games for. It's still easier though than like the cell processor because that thing was scary.
Now, why was the cell processor hard to create?
Because
games
it was an architecture that no one's ever worked with for games.
Okay.
Plus the same issue that you have with having the 8 cores, which is paralyzing everything. Parallelizing everything, not paralyzing it. But
Yeah.
basically, like you have to you have to write your code in a fashion where everything's independent of each other, which is really hard for certain things like AI, regardless of what some people like to tell me. These people being embedded systems programmers rather than, game designers, because game designers all pretty much generally agree AI is not something you parallelize in like FPS or really anything but RTS and management games, because in RTS and management games they're not dependent on each other. In like a game like Crisis 3, basically, if you made your AI like each NPC's actions independent of each other, it would make them impossible to work together, which would make them stupid.
Okay.
So, and people who argue that, and people who, well, don't work in the industry and argue the opposite, don't know what the fuck they're talking about.
Other
That's a
than
direct call out to someone from this week, but I won't name names.
other than the CPU, what else do you think about it? Like,
I like that there's 8 gigs of system memory. It's
yeah,
shared between the GPU and the CPU,
okay,
so like we're gonna see a step up in environment sizes, but like, and we'll see a step up in texture quality,
yeah,
but it's not like gonna be massive. It's not like having 8 gigs in a PC. This is like having 4.
okay, yeah, because that always kind of throws you off coming from like the PC point. I see 8 is quite a bit, but
Yeah, like you see 8 as a lot on PC because it's not necessary for PC gaming. You only need 4. In fact, 4 is probably optimal still
yeah,
because of reasons I've already explained on the podcast. But like 8 in this case, you have that problem that you have when you have PC stuff from going from 4 to 8. Even though it's not really a noticeable performance thing, only people who are like really trying to irk out every frame
yeah,
can like argue that 4 is better than 8. But in this case, like it's shared memory, so I would way rather see them have 8 than 4. But you should see a step up in texture quality, environment sizes, and also oh well, I guess those are the 2 things. I'm
no,
sorry, I forgot the other thing that I was gonna say, and now it's like not there.
yeah, no, I think that's still good though. Gives them more creative freedom, I think, to open world games and obviously better looking games. So
Yeah, well, the thing is, at this point, like, there's people who have been arguing with me that we can make better video games and that game designers are just lazy and bad. Someone said that game designers are bad software engineers. That was their exact words, which is
okay,
funny because like all the money in the like the computing industry right now is in gaming. So kind of like the best and brightest are in gaming and ignoring everything else because well, you make a lot more money in gaming and tackle a lot more technical challenges, at least more
yeah,
interesting technical challenges, because like you can invent things that aren't necessarily things that you need to solve in the real world.
yeah,
And so like to imply that somehow game designers who probably work more hours, work more overtime, and have like bigger crunch deadlines and need to like jump bigger hurdles regarding like software development than someone who works in, let's say, embedded systems, uh to argue that they're bad software engineers is like the stupidest thing I've fucking ever heard. At least this year. It's this Okay, it's
that's
the 4th stupidest thing I've heard this year. The top 5 stupid things I've heard this year,
new
all from this
segment,
week.
new segment we have on the podcast.
Stupid shit
Stupidest
I've
thing.
heard this year.
Yeah,
But that only works for this week. Like seriously, the 5 stupidest things that I fucking have heard in a long time, all this week. I'm actually astounded people think like this, but we'll get into it. So like The thing that I'm kind of having problems with hardware-wise isn't even really with the hardware, because like it's a huge step up from where they were with the PlayStation 3 and with the Xbox. Like the PlayStation 4 is 4 times as powerful as the PlayStation 3, and just like raw computational ability.
Okay.
And then the fact that we have like stronger individual cores than we had with the PlayStation 3, which is like a huge bonus. Like everything related to the PlayStation 3 to the PS4 is like is good. It's an improvement in every single aspect. There's just things that they didn't change that I wish they did. Like rather than having 8 cores, having like a quad core where you have just stronger single processing.
Yeah.
Because that's still such an important part of games, because games generally only split into 1 or 2 threads. 3 sometimes, maybe even 4 if you're an RTS. But like we don't play RTSs on consoles, so that doesn't matter. You play FPS and like RPGs. Both things only run on 1 or 2 cores, sometimes 3. Not very well balanced, but
yeah.
Like that's really my only complaint hardware wise, and then my other but like I have a complaint related to the hardware, and that's like that Sony and their first party devs are like marketing really hard on how this is like a powerful system. The thing is that it's not really a powerful system. They're saying that they can do things they never could do before in gaming, not just like we can do things that we couldn't do with the PS3, but things we could never do before in gaming, like that were impossible because we didn't have a powerful enough hardware. Well, that's a fucking lie, because 1.8 teraflops is like a $1,500 PC from 2008. So it's like, way to be 5 years behind again, but but on the other hand, I also don't expect them to like release a system that's as powerful as a $1,500 computer. But
it's not like cost efficient, really.
No, well, no one could afford it, but
Exactly.
they shouldn't market it like it's as powerful as a $1,500 computer.
Yeah, they should. I mean, generally speaking, though, I guess if you only play consoles, then that's a correct term. But yeah, when you use the broad term of gaming, then it's kind of.
Well, the thing is that like, gaming isn't limited to consoles, and they shouldn't they shouldn't make it seem like they're doing anything special with the hardware, because they're not. In fact, they're just standardizing it and using like barely customized PC components, which is actually really good for gaming because it should standardize development, which should bring down development costs.
Right. Now, the question I had is they're running an APU, right?
Yeah.
So that's what
it's AMD's special chips that are just CPUs and GPUs.
So that's not a dedicated card then? Like
no.
Do consoles not have dedicated cards then? Like I'm thinking, or
some of them do, some of them don't. This one won't.
Is that okay? Yeah.
Last gen had them. The APUs should bring down costs of manufacturing, essentially.
Right.
Which should bring down the overall release price when they launch.
Okay. But performance-wise, they're not really as
Performance-wise, they're weaker than what you would see like from a CPU GPU combo for PCs, because like this hardware is in PCs, so it's really easy to compare it to PC performance.
Right.
But so like it's weaker. It's a lot weaker, especially like versus the dedicated CPU to the dedicated GPU. But in comparison to last gen's abilities, because I mean that's a decade old hardware, it's a lot more powerful.
Right.
Because it's been a decade.
Okay. Everything else besides for the processing and the graphics kind of seems standard now.
Yeah.
Like
the nice thing about going to the x86 architecture is that it should make it easier for like to develop for multiple platforms at once. So like we should get better PC ports.
That would be wonderful.
Yeah, well hopefully we get better PC ports. I mean that's how it should work.
It should work, right? But yeah, we can only hope, I guess. But I'm glad to see that they're not ditching. Well, I guess it is a built-in hard drive or hard disk,
They have a
but
hard drive inside so that they can give like a really big, well, basically just space
yeah,
because they're really pushing their digital front this time, which is
right,
nice. We'll get into that because
yeah.
I want to talk about that, but not until later.
All
As
right,
far as the hardware goes, like I'm not disappointed with it. I'm just not impressed by it because I
I've seen.
play PC games, but
Yeah, it's hard to impress us.
yeah, like at least in like power, at least
Yeah,
like if that makes sense.
oh, it does
But
definitely.
you don't, you're not gonna get me on power for consoles, and my big problem with it is that they're marketing it like it's a powerhouse, which is just not. It's
Yeah,
stupid as an idea,
but I think it's
and
it's a good move for those because there are
while it baits in people who don't know what they're looking at,
exactly
which is
and
why I
that's
like understand why they're doing it. It's just greasy, and they should stop doing it.
yeah, but I mean revenue, they're gonna
Yeah.
get it, so why not market it like that? I understand where you're coming from though, because
Yeah, well, it turns out there's a very large forum full of people who don't understand what I'm talking about because that's exactly what I said, and then somehow that meant I think the PS4 sucks because it's not a powerful system.
eh,
Strawmanned the shit out of me. Seriously, it's like a 10-page thread of me arguing with two people, and all they do is strawman me for fucking 10 pages.
it's great.
Yeah,
I'm definitely gonna read this.
I'll link it to you. It was pretty amazing. But yeah, I think like this is a really necessary hardware upgrade from what we have now. Because what we have now, like you can't make modern games, at least by like what the market standard is. Like games like Skyrim on like where they have like that faux photorealism, people expect that to keep getting better as time goes on. Like
Right.
it should get more realistic. The thing is that because of the hardware, like it hasn't been able to get more realistic for 4 years, at least. Well, without making fidelity cuts, and like those
Right.
fidelity cuts have been cuts in frame rate and cuts in
Cuts in
resolution and cuts
and
in FOV,
right.
and
That's the big one.
so yeah, so it's just they've like made major cuts that affect gameplay essentially, just to try to make the graphics prettier. And the thing is that like objectively to make better games, you're going to need better graphics, but you're also going to need to maintain that level of fidelity and that level of like smoothness. You can't just take like at one point you have to stop cutting frames and you have to
Yeah.
stop cutting resolution and you have to stop cutting poly count and everything else. And so you reach a point where you have to change out the hardware, and we're at that stage. We've been at that stage for 2 years. So
So it's about time.
yeah, I mean, well, the last 2 years has been like every AAA release on the 360 and the PS3 has essentially been like 480p and less than 30 FPS, like normally holding like a standard 24, but then also getting frame drops and having like minute-long load times. And as a PC gamer, I mean, I didn't have to play those consoles, so like maybe I don't get a say in it, but I don't understand how console gamers could put up that with that shit for like a year and a half to 2 years
It's
or three, like in this case.
right. It's no, it's
Like
it's frustrating.
if I have 30-second load times and I'm not getting 60 FPS, which is something that like if it's lower than 60, I can tell it in the game feel. Like it
Yeah.
doesn't feel right. And so instantly I try to fix that shit. But as like a console gamer, you can't fix it. So you're constantly stuck with like subpar gaming experience for several years just because you want prettier graphics, but we can't, like the hardware's too shitty.
There's too much to sacrifice to get that, so
Yeah.
yeah.
So as far as I'm concerned, it's a totally necessary upgrade, and people who think that this shouldn't exist are retarded. Actually, I think that people who say that the PlayStation 3 and the Xbox have another 3 to 4 years in their life cycle, and that this gen's coming too early, shouldn't be allowed to buy the next gen consoles for 5 years.
Ban them.
They should just be banned from it and have to play on current gen for the next 5 years, regardless of whether or not games come out. Someone told me like the PS3 isn't going to be like the PS2 because like the PS2 just finished manufacturing, right? And they've had games released all the way up until like a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
And that they'd be lucky if the PlayStation 3 was like that. And it's like, well, one, the PlayStation 3 doesn't have to be like that. Two, look at what games came out on the PS2 after the PS3 came out. All of them are PSP ports. They're ports from the PSP to the PS2.
Right.
Yeah, because those games are good.
Yeah. Right.
Like the argument is the PlayStation 3 isn't going to get 5 years of shovelware. What the fuck? Who cares?
Right. It's.
Do you want do you want to buy shovelware for the next 5 years for your system? Tell me how many PS2 games you bought after the PS3 came out.
Right. I get what you mean.
So fucking retarded.
Oh, it is.
Yeah, but I think it's just like a totally necessary hardware upgrade. So, I'm really I'm pleased that they're finally releasing the new consoles, and I'm not disappointed with what hardware's in there. I'm actually really pleased with like the x86 architecture thing, but I'm not impressed by it. I'm not like, ah, shit, I need to buy one of those.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with that statement. I think they didn't like announce enough to sell me on it. It was a lot of this is what it can do.
Yeah, but we'll get into that.
Yeah,
because I wanted to talk about that.
Let's do it then.
Well, I wanted to talk about streaming first, and then the social features, and then the games, and then some more support stuff, and then I specifically wanted to talk about that last.
Okay.
Because I think that I want to talk about everything they announced, and I want to talk about what I thought about the announcement. So, like, streaming is like a huge selling point on this for their digital stuff.
Right.
And they're like relying on it to fix things because they said that there's not going to be backwards compatibility with the PS3, which is actually a good thing, and people don't seem to realize that. And the reason being is that like with the Xbox 360, like you had the software backwards compatibility where it was like emulated all the games, and that kind of works mediocre-ish. Like it doesn't work all the time, even for games that are quote unquote supported, and so it's kind of just shitty. It doesn't work right, and you don't get all your games over. There's some games that I own that never got moved over for backwards compatibility with the 360, like Kung Fu Chaos. Great game. But with the PS3, like they had hardware backwards compatibility with the PS2. So you had a PS2 inside your PS3 to run all the games.
Okay.
And so it runs all the games and it runs them flawlessly. But it's a huge increase in like cost to put a PS2 inside your PS3.
Right, they cut that after like the first gen of them?
Yeah, after like the first 6 months or 9 months or something.
Right.
Because it increases the price.
Okay.
So they're not doing that with the PS4 to keep the price down. Also, and then obviously you can't do software backwards compatibility because the architectures are too different. Because you're going from like the cell processor with a GPU to an x86 8-core processor with a GPU.
Yeah.
And it's not going to work. It might work, but it's not worth it, and it's not going to work well, and it's just too hard. It's too much to do. And once again, we'll increase the price at launch of the console because now instead of having more hardware inside for the cost, you now have more software development for the cost. But they want to fix that through streaming because Sony bought Gaikai last year.
Right.
Which is like, it's a similar service to OnLive. And all those services work the same, where they stream you like a video feed basically.
Yeah.
And then you give them an input and then it does its thing.
Yeah.
Which is like, this Okay, I'm like, cool. They want to do streaming. It's a really good idea
It's
for a decade from now because it doesn't work.
yeah, that's it's only for the select few, you know?
Well,
Like
it's only for people who live in San Diego,
where is that where their servers are hosted
pretty
or
much. Like
okay.
the same problem existed with On Live. It's like if you lived in San Diego, service was great. You lived anywhere else, you're fucked
Yeah.
because there's too much latency on the input.
That's maybe they'll improve on that
Well, the
since
thing
now
is that it's
it's
not a result. It's not like a. It's not something that they can
they can
improve on
right,
their end. It's
that's
something
true.
that ISPs need to fix by just making good internet cheaper, and that's not going to happen because this PlayStation came out.
Yeah, that's true.
And even the
So it
latency thing, like, won't necessarily be fixed by people having faster internet and having higher bandwidth caps. Like, I've used OnLive and I used Gaikai, and neither of them worked because I live in Canada.
yeah. They like do you think they'll set up servers more like around the world for that then?
Yeah,
Or
they have a huge amount of servers everywhere. It doesn't fix the problem, though.
doesn't
Like, the latency problem, here's the thing. If you introduce, like, well, okay, so I connect to a server in, let's say, like, Seattle to play Counter-Strike.
yeah,
My latency is probably 50 to 60 milliseconds, right? Like that would be a logical ping to have.
yeah,
And because I mean when you connect to I don't know, Chicago, which is probably close to you, right? That's
yeah,
probably what you have around.
yeah,
Yeah. So you get like that 50 millisecond to 60 millisecond ping. And now a lot of games don't work because of your input cuz like
okay.
you have to double that up, right? Like I send the input and then I get
Get
the
it back.
result back. So now I'm looking at like 100 to 120 milliseconds between input and result.
Yeah, then
And it
that's
ruins
like
game feel.
that's way above the range of noticing it too. So
Yeah, and because it's just like a video feed basically that you're getting. So now you're hurt on like you're getting hurt on the on like the video quality because you're not really getting the game in 720p. Like you get the Netflix thing where you get all the fucking squares basically because of compression. Because I mean it has to be compressed
right.
because people don't have fiber lines in North America, and
Yeah.
then so you get like a worse video quality, you get really bad game feel, and then there's some genres of games that just are unplayable, like fighting games, like Twitch shooters, like racing games, anything
Racing,
reaction based, which leaves
Any
you with what?
anything single player where it's not super competitive. Like
Yeah, pretty
it's
much.
it's a very limited amount of games. No,
I
I
mean, it would
agree,
work
but
great with like turn-based strategy, but I don't see a lot of those on consoles.
turn-based strategy. Well, Final Fantasy can get pushed on that pretty easy,
Yeah, games like that would work. Any
but
game where
that's
it's like turn-based would work really well. It's just like live things that are reaction-based, they don't work. And it's not a problem with the service. There's nothing wrong with the service. And it's not a problem that the service can fix either because it's a problem with like with the consumer.
yeah. It
And so like this is their proposed fix basically for backwards compatibility with PS1 and PS2 and PS3.
it would just be that you stream it rather than it. It's a you're right. It is a great idea, but they do need to take in consideration
Yeah,
what
like
limiting factors are.
I'm
I
sure it
I
works perfectly fine if you live in Chicago or you live in San Diego or you live in Seattle or like anywhere where a server is. If you live in that city, I bet it works perfectly fine for a lot of games. It still won't work for fighting games because
Yeah, there's still like where every second counts. There's gonna be games where you can't play, but I mean, that is rough too because then you're gonna have to decide what games you want to play, like what games you can play. You're limited to from your collection, like for backwards compatibility stuff. Like you're not gonna be able to play every game, and it's not gonna feel the same. So that's gonna be a rough surface, but
I mean, maybe in like a decade it'll work really well, but I mean, they're looking at a 7 year launch. Like, I don't. Microsoft and Sony want to do 7 year life cycles. They want to release a console every 7 years because that's about how long they should last for tops, is 7 years. And so, like, by the end of the life cycle of this console, I wouldn't expect it to like be a really particularly good service. And there's other things that they want to do with the streaming though. Like um they want to stream you like all game demos. So like you want to demo a game, you just like stream it.
play. So that just cuts out all the download time, right? So it's just
And
instantly
then when
available.
yeah, basically. And then when you're like downloading a game, there will be like an instant play option. And I would assume that that would work on streaming because they said that it would use the Gaikai service. But then you have games like World of Warcraft where they also do that. But like the only games that do it are MMOs because like you download the areas that you're going into when you get
Yeah.
there. Right at like because those games are 20 gigs,
Yeah.
but they also have hundreds of areas. So like you normally just download the areas that you're going into, and like are they gonna do something like that with the game where like you download the core game and then just download the areas as you get to them, like the levels as you get to them?
Wouldn't that be more based on how the game's built though?
Yeah, kind of. So like I'm really interested to see what they're gonna do with that because I think that's a good feature. But I mean, it hasn't been brought over to like a lot of other games because of the way they're set up. I think it would be a really cool feature to see on Steam though. I'd like that, so I can just
Yeah,
play my games when I get them half downloaded.
that would
Because
be
most games nowadays are 12 gigs, and I mean, I'm in a privileged position where if a game's 12 gigs, I can play it in half an hour. But
definitely can't.
yeah, exactly.
Yeah. No, I that would be nice to see and maybe
It's the bonus of living with a pro gamer. Everyone in my house needs retarded internet.
really
Yeah.
hmm, lucky you. I could go downstairs and get like pretty nasty internet off the campus Wi-Fi, but it's not my room, so I don't really feel like going out.
Go sit out in a public space and do the podcast.
Yeah. Well, I
Be awesome.
download stuff at like insanely fast speeds.
Just go down there at like 3 in the morning.
Yeah. Well, I've done that to download like Steam games on my laptop. I just go down there and get them done.
Haul your
Half hour
desktop
cover.
down there.
Yeah.
That's where we'll play games from now on.
Yeah. I can probably stream like 720p down there. Be great.
Yeah.
But yeah,
2000 kilobit bit rate, 720p.
you know what? Yeah, I'll just go in like the convenience store downstairs. Not
I can do
take this.
1080p out of my campus office. It's
It's
fucking
nuts.
awesome.
I mean, I
It's
might
because
work.
I've got a solid 10 megabytes a second
Yeah.
upload, not
I
megabits,
To be
megabytes.
honest, I might be able to pull that at my work. That'd be pretty nuts. I should try that sometime. It'd be fun. Anyways, a little bit off topic.
Yeah, but like they want to do lots of streaming basically with the system, and
Yeah. Now, would that be a system like what the different kind of streaming? Like you know how they want to like stream your gameplay?
oh shit,
They,
yeah,
they,
and they want to stream your gameplay, but we'll get to that in the social
okay.
features, which is the
Well,
next segment.
yeah.
But yeah, they want to do like lots of streaming of games from Gaikai basically with everything, like for backwards compatibility, for new games, um
Demos.
for downloads, yeah. And then there's some other cool stuff though that they want to do with the system. Like they want to do crossplay for everything, which I think is cool.
Like the transferring, isn't you know what I'm talking about? PS. It was for one of the Metal Gear Solid games from your
So
Vita.
crossplay basically just means that it plays on the PlayStation like console and the Vita,
Right.
and like your saves transfer between them like
That
seamlessly.
Yeah, that happened for one of the Metal Gear Solid games.
It's been implemented for lots of stuff. But they want to do that for every single PS4 game, at least all the first party stuff. Which traditionally means that there won't be any like PlayStation 4 exclusives, because the way that crossplay, at least for now, works is that it doesn't stream from like the console to the Vita. It has like a Vita version and a console version, and it installs on like both of them.
That kind of sounds really neat, to be honest. But
it's a cool feature, and it helps with like the Vita not having any exclusives.
That's true. The Vita, I haven't really heard much from Sony's like handheld market lately, but that's a really good concept. But at the same time, I don't feel like that's going to apply to many titles because does the Vita have dual stick, like two sticks?
Yeah, it does.
But they're just like the circle pads, right? They're not like actual
they're circle pads.
Sticks. Yeah. So
but I mean, they work like analog sticks. Functionally, they're the same thing. They're just not as comfortable or as good in any way.
Can't click them down. But
because anyone fucking uses that.
Dude, you use it all the time. How are you gonna knife somebody in Call of Duty on your Vita?
But, I don't know. Ask the guys who made the Call of Duty for Vita.
Yeah. But no, like I think it's a good idea, and it's like they're talking about that whole like immersing people in games and making it more of just not the couch game, making it follow you where you're going. So it's a really good concept, and I hope it turns out as well as they're talking, because I feel like it's not for every game, but it'll do well. I don't know.
Yeah, well, they want to do it with all their first-party stuff. I mean, they can't force third-party devs to do it. Like, to develop a Vita version of the game for every game that you're going to release on the PlayStation 4. Third-party devs wouldn't be so down with that. But that would be like that development costs increasing thing, you know, that no one wants.
Yeah.
But they want to do it with all the first-party stuff, which I think actually kind of in a way hurts the system, because now you have Vita owners like playing it on their Vita instead of buying a PS4 to play their exclusives. Because like there wouldn't be any PS4 exclusives. There would just be like Sony exclusives, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And they want to move crossplay to more than just the Vita. Like they want to move it to like Sony tablets and stuff too.
Okay.
So it's like you're starting to introduce a ton of stuff into the ecosystem, like the Sony ecosystem, but you don't have any like device exclusive consoles, or I mean device exclusive like releases. So if you own one of them, why, like for example, if I owned like a Sony tablet PC that could play all the PlayStation 4 games, why the fuck would I buy PlayStation 4?
Right. It's true. Unless if they make a way where like that'd be kind of weird. You had to have like the PS4 to play on everything else, but
yeah, but then that's just system streaming over the network, and
yeah,
that's not what crossplay has been up to this point. So I don't expect it to be that in the future. Like I would expect them to start using a different name. If it was essentially that, if it was basically just streaming over your home network and you couldn't take the device outside of the house because like it wouldn't work otherwise, just because of bandwidth. Basically all the same problems that you have with streaming, but worsened by now your house internet being the service provider.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if they changed it to that, it would be just basically like using remote desktop in your house with your PC, or like the Wii U's off-screen play, where you're playing just on the gamepad.
Right.
So I don't know. Maybe they'd give that a different name. I don't really care if it's there or not. So I just think it's a cool feature, and I like the idea of crossplay, and I like what they want to do with streaming. I just don't think it's practical for the next decade.
I can see that though. I agree with that.
Yeah, I do like that they're pushing for more digital stuff though. I'm hoping that I'm gonna see that they're gonna have like day one digital releases on the console, because that's just something that should exist now.
Right.
Like at this point, the disc doesn't make sense anymore. Like distributing CDs, they should just put big ass hard drives in consoles, and If they need to do physical copies, just do like USB sticks that download and install to the drive and come with a CD key.
It'd be pretty smart. Now, like, are read speeds off of USBs and hard drives? Well, yeah, that's gonna be way faster than a CD drive, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, never mind. That's just
Well,
no.
the reason why they're shipping, they said that they're going to put a really big hard drive for like, well, like when I say big, I mean
Like
lots
two.
of memory, but not like a 2 foot wide hard drive, but 2 foot high, like wide custom hard
Yeah.
drive that has like 20 gigs of space on it. Xbox 360. That was at release. I bought my Xbox 360 at release. It had like 18 gigs of hard drive space was the max capacity one.
It's pretty. It's a lot.
It was back then for consoles.
Yeah, no, I mean,
But like they want to put like a lot of memory on the hard drive so that they can really push the digital stuff. That way, like you don't have to buy a custom hard drive or anything like that. Like you just
Right.
have it in there and day one and you can start downloading games and not worry about it. Like I've downloaded fucking 4 or 5 games on my Wii U and now I have to buy a hard drive.
that's does the Wii U have a slot for that, or is it?
It's just any USB hard drive.
Yeah, no, I think that's one thing that they should, like the Xbox has, where you can add space to it. They definitely need to.
Well, with the Wii U, there's just anything, any USB drives. So
Yeah, I guess
I'm just gonna plop a 2 terabyte drive on top of it.
Yeah.
Because a 2 terabyte drive now costs me like $60.
Yeah, just duct tape it on, call it good.
Well, I can get a USB 3.0 like 2 terabyte hard drive online for like $60. So
Shit, it's not bad at all.
put all my Wii U games on that.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like that they're gonna push the digital stuff. I'm hoping to see day one releases on the store.
I mean, is that kind of like following the Wii's footsteps then, because they have the whole Nintendo store, or the Wii U, I should say.
Yeah, well,
Like-
Nintendo joined like the whole online digital distribution stuff late in comparison to Sony and Microsoft, but as far as their store setup, it's a lot better than both Sony and Microsoft's. So, but there's some other stuff like that's not so good, like purchases binding to the system rather than to an account.
Yeah, I've heard a few stories about that.
They said they're working on it.
You can only hope.
Damn right. Hopefully they fix it before my fucking console dies. Not that I'm having any problems with it, but if it died, I'd
Right.
be pissed because I have like 6 games on it.
Yeah.
You want to go on to this social fuck fest?
Not particularly. What? If we have to, let's do it.
All the social stuff, when I was watching it, like this specifically right here, and then games. There's something in games that made me enraged that we'll talk about. But like all the social feature stuff made me pretty much want to go crawl in a hole and die. Because it's like everything that's wrong with gaming. If anyone supports this social feature stuff, they should sell their gaming system and like all of their game collection because they're not worthy of it. No matter how terrible their collection is. They're not worthy of it. I think like it's a really good, smart idea from a consumer standpoint, but I have issues with it in that even if it's not intrusive and you can just turn it all off, there's like system resources that have been dedicated to these features that devs basically can't access. So like you're wasting space, basically. You're wasting power. Precious power.
Yeah, it's limited as it is to an extent. It's wasted on Facebook.
Facebook, Ustream, and Twitter, because that's what I need with my life.
I mean, how hard is it to drop on your iPhone, send a tweet? I mean, or your smartphone, like in general, pop a tweet in.
But how would I just record shitty gameplay and post it on Facebook if there wasn't a share button and all this terrible software?
Yeah, because you're gonna want to post one. You're gonna want to post all your videos on Facebook to begin with.
What kind of virgin autist are you? To be honest, it's scary because I think that a lot of bros will do it, and then just like
It's gonna.
it's gonna bloat all of the services that I like to use with so much shit. And the thing is about gaming videos and gaming content, it's already bloated with so much shit that it's just like, let's throw some more on.
Yeah, it's gonna explode. Like those sites are just gonna blow up. The day
Yeah,
that
because I
happens.
want to watch
It's
a bunch of I want to watch a bunch of mute like live streams on Ustream
yeah,
with
a bunch
people's
of
really shitty internet with all the frame
but
drops.
bunch of 12-year-olds playing Call of Duty, streaming it, just yelling their ass. Oh, dude, it's I. Mm-mm.
Because that's what I need with my life.
Yeah, it's gonna be just drowning in that.
There's going to be so many streamers now. There's going to be so much video. I don't know how video capture is going to work. That stuff, though, isn't even really the worst stuff. There's, like, some
No.
pretty stupid shit. Like, the ability for your friend to take over remotely to, like, beat hard parts of the game for you if you can't beat it.
If you can't beat it, you
It's
shouldn't
bad
play
enough
it.
with Nintendo giving us, like, the fucking gold suits and shit for Mario when you die too many times and asking you if you, like, want to skip the level. I don't
Are you
need
having
I don't need
hard-
my fucking friend to beat my games for me, damn it.
Call up Jim on the phone. Hey, dude, I can't beat this game. You got to hardwire in to beat it for me. Like, why? I feel like this is like defeating the experience of a hard game.
Yep.
But, I mean,
It's just like a stupid feature, but now you've got something like dedicated to it. At least with the streaming, I think there's a chip that just does all the like video saves by itself that's like dedicated. But this, like the person doing remote takeovers, that's just not gonna work. That's handled by like probably the CPU, I'd assume, not a special piece of hardware, which means that now we've reserved system power that people will never be able to use, which is important like at the end of the life cycle basically when people are really trying to squeeze out the power.
yeah. And it's all being used for Facebook, and you can't have it.
So stupid.
Yeah.
All this social gaming stuff is just like it shouldn't be here. It doesn't belong in the social gaming shit. Like
Not the console realm. Like,
it doesn't belong in anything. It doesn't belong in gaming at all. Especially because like social gaming isn't really social in the first place. And I think I've talked about this before, but like if I want to be social when I play games, I want my fucking friends to come over and play games with me. I don't want to play like I don't really count playing games online as like nearly the same thing. It's not social.
yeah. I mean, not to say that it's not fun though.
Oh, it's not that it's not fun.
It's not.
It's that it's
social
not like
game.
a social experience in the same way.
Yeah.
And I don't think that making Facebook notifications about it makes it any more social.
Right. It definitely doesn't.
I think it
And-
cheapens the experience.
Yeah. Mainly because I mean, Ustream I can understand. You know, it's definitely mainly used for the gaming industry, but like Facebook and Twitter, why Twitter? It's just ugh.
I don't even... Okay, I'm just assuming you can tweet because they didn't say that you could, but they definitely did say Facebook notifications.
Oh yeah, they didn't.
And,
They
like,
didn't.
video posts and pictures and shit. It has
Screenshot.
Facebook integration. They never mentioned Twitter, but...
Yeah, wouldn't doubt that it would happen, but like Steam has screenshot posts. That whole Steam community thing is perfect. If you want to be social, it's built into Steam, not built into your games. Not built like it's a choice. You don't have to do it, but like it's away from all that other stuff because like
Yeah,
integrating something that doesn't like go with video games like Facebook makes absolutely no sense. It's part of your life, yeah. You might get out on every day, but who the fuck cares?
I
Really?
hate Facebook. I hate
Yeah.
it. I go
I do
on there,
kinda.
see all these happy people that are normal, and I was like, fuck you, why don't you accept me?
Yeah,
I could be normal-ish,
yeah.
and then I get off.
And then I'm happy again.
And then I go play some video games and I'm happy.
Yeah.
Fuck normal people.
Yeah. If you're normal and you're watching this, stop watching.
Yeah.
tell you all your other
I might
non.
look like a filthy hipster, but really I'm just an autistic loser. You perchin'?
Yeah, getting
Good
that comfortable
choice.
stance on. All right, what? Want to move from social features? I don't really want to talk about that anymore, to be honest.
Yeah, there's not even much to talk about there. It's just like,
It's just,
let's integrate all of this social stuff. Oh, shit, we missed something in hardware, so we
oh,
will talk about the controller.
okay, cool. Yeah, I was gonna.
Because that thing's retarded.
It's kind of a big
It's a good like transition because
because of
social
this
features to share button.
share button. Oh,
Fucking
well,
share button.
I will tell you the options button, good. I like that. There was no reason to have start and select. Select, I
Yeah.
mean, not it just
No
didn't
one
feel like,
uses it.
yeah, that's the whole reason I didn't like it. Is that can you still use like the PlayStation Home button? I'm assuming, like you hit the PlayStation button, that little circle.
I haven't looked at the controller recently.
It's like it was on the PS3 controllers. It was just like the PlayStation logo. You hit it and it takes you. It's kind of like the Wii Home button.
Oh, that logo I see. That's like
Yeah,
right in the center. I think that may be. Oh no, there's an options button there and there's share there. Okay.
yeah. So I think that's still like the PS3, but um, I like that they added. I don't think the PS3 had microphone support or headphone support on the bottom, did it?
No, I don't think so.
It had a
You can't. You know what's stupid? That doesn't make any sense. You can't use the PS3 controllers with the PS4. They're both
that's
Bluetooth, and they're essentially the exact same layout besides the options button, the share button.
yeah.
So like all you do is bind the
uh,
the
The
start button
select
to options,
and then the
and
select to
then
share.
well, you don't even need to do that. You can ignore that. No
Yeah,
one
I don't
needs
even.
it because the only real addition is that they've added that touchscreen, right?
Yeah.
But the
Is that
touchscreen's too is a touchscreen, that thing on the top.
that that's so awkward. I thought it has a
Not
touch like
only is it awkward, what are you gonna use it for?
it's a touch screen on the back too, kind of like the Vita, right? Like,
No, it's just
well,
on the top.
that's okay. Never mind. I thought because the Vita
It
has it
doesn't
where like,
wrap all the way around to the bottom.
ooh, that's gross.
It like wraps around the top kind of, but it like stops halfway down.
What the fuck are you gonna use that for? Seriously.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm
There's
gonna move my
nothing.
like you already have like the layout has been perfect. Like you have what you can use at like its maximum potential, I feel like, and now they're adding a touchscreen. You're gonna dude, puzzle games are gonna be sick now. You can like swipe them, draw out your name.
Yeah, but
I don't really get it.
it's retarded. I can't see any practical use for the touchscreen
No,
because it's too small to do anything with, and it's
yeah,
like in a bad position.
that's rough. Right. The controller looks weird itself. I'm looking at that picture from Polygon, and it looks different, like kind of like pudgier almost.
Yeah, I'm not
Like
sure if that's like the
the
real one. It's hard to find like the one that they were using, pictures of the one that they were using in the thing.
yeah. There's like grainy pictures of the live stream.
Uh, here. Oh shit, I don't know how I'm gonna link this. Well, okay, the video is gonna get bad for a second. That's the actual. Those are like all the pictures of it. Because like, okay, you see how like the touch screen doesn't go all the way down. If you're, it's on like the fourth picture that has the blue mark.
Yeah.
Because that phases with the new PlayStation Eye, like the Eye 2.0, because they
That,
needed to bring
that
back the worst peripheral that's ever existed in
dude,
gaming.
the iToy,
Yeah,
I loved that.
said it was terrible, and this one has two cameras
Wait,
because
that's
they're such. And so like what they never really went over what the iToy can do, but they're like it can tell how far away you're sitting from the TV. It's like because that's a useful feature.
that's creepy. They can talk to me about that. Hi Tyler, you are 10 feet away from me. Woo! It is that kind of their answer to the Kinect then? Is that
I don't
really?
know, maybe, but why is it on every single controller?
I don't know. It's kind of
It's essentially so this is like what they used to do Move with. So this is essentially like PlayStation Move, but on every single controller, except that this doesn't work like the wands. So what's the point?
it's yeah, it's motion sensing in that sense. When you already have a controller, it just seems like it's gonna be like, oh, you know what it's gonna be used for? I have the perfect solution, and this is why they made it. You know when you're playing racing games with people and they like tilt their controller because it helps them turn more, but it doesn't.
Yeah,
That's what it's used for. When you tilt your
but they already
controller,
had 6-axis.
dude. Oh shit. What? Damn it. Well, my point was good though. This
I would totally do that. I'd turn the shit out of my controllers, but
well, what what the hell's the point of? Okay, now I'm confused because yeah, you're right. They had
and I don't really like the triggers. And I don't like the joysticks. They need to go back to completely convex joysticks
yeah. Well, no, I
because those are the best, and I don't need a lip.
you don't like the lip on like the Xbox ones?
No, because I can't keep my grip on it for too long. Like I slip when I'm playing games like
But
by
don't
hour like 5.
you don't slip on like the PlayStations?
I like the PlayStation 3 ones. I like the joysticks. I don't like the position of where they are.
Yeah. No, I agree with that. I guess I see what you're meaning though because they're more you can kind of get the side of them better. Like you
Yeah.
can use the whole surface of them as opposed to where your thumb needs to be almost in the center to have full control over it on an
Yeah.
Xbox.
I
Yeah.
actually really like the ones on the Wii U gamepad because they have a lip, but it's like not really a lip. It's like a line, but fucking it's so like it doesn't indent enough to cause any like actual. It doesn't do anything really.
No,
It's like a slightly raised, like 1 millimeter thick fucking rubber line. It's useless. Doesn't do anything.
yeah.
But I
That's
like those joysticks only because, once again, they're essentially completely convex.
right. Yeah, the trigger scheme kind of different, but you know what I would like to see is like more of a click feel to it, because when you suppress the trigger like that, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. I just don't like the way the triggers look, but I haven't used them, obviously. And I don't
Right,
like how the like primary trigger is so much smaller now, and the bumpers are much larger.
right. That it looks like because when you're used to playing games, like your middle fingers tend to be lower than like your index.
Well,
So,
I don't normally put my middle fingers on the trigger. I normally just move my index back up forth,
oh really?
depending on the game. If it's a
Depending,
game
yeah,
like if I have to use the bumpers a lot, then yeah, I put my
okay,
like middle fingers on there. But normally
right.
I don't.
That makes sense. Um, they're just flat, like they're flush with the bumpers. It's kind of different because usually, like I think I don't know if the PS3s were
Normally
slanted.
the like triggers on the PS3 are like longer and they're like against the controller kind of. Whereas these
Yeah.
are like
Oh,
sticking out from the back and then like just go down.
actually, to be honest, I think I like these better because I didn't really like the feel of the DualShock 3 controllers.
Well, I
Like
never
the
really
tri
liked the DualShock controllers because they're too small for my hand.
Okay, yeah, big.
Like I think this is an improvement over DualShock 3, but I don't like the triggers still, and I don't like the joysticks. And I think that there's a lot of crap on there that's not useful.
Yeah, no, that whole speaker thing is so stupid. To be honest,
I like it with the Wii and the Wii U.
I never cared for it. I
But
couldn't.
but the thing is, you have to use it right. You don't put like primary sounds over it. You do like things to kind of create atmosphere.
Right, like I know that Legend of Zelda did it okay.
Well, like Sonic and All Stars Racing Transformed did pretty good. It was cool. And then same thing with like Nintendo Land. Like there's some games that use it really well. If it's just the TV noise, then it shouldn't be used at all. Zombie U uses it a ton. Because there's like one guy that tells you everything to do, but it doesn't come through the TV. It only comes through the gamepad.
Hmm.
So like everything that's through the TV is like the environment noises and like the zombies around you, and
Yeah,
like the stuff coming through the gamepad is supposed to be like a walkie-talkie.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
That's
So like you just got to use it right and like use it in the right times. You don't use it just for like environment noise. It's stupid
right. Yeah.
because it'll sound like ass. And
It's not like, at least on the Wii's, it's pretty brutal. Didn't sound that good, but
well, it depends on the game.
it's true. You want to move on to games that they announced?
Sure. This is a
All
matter
right.
of me finding out which games were announced again.
Yeah. There's-
Because like they have a huge list of like signed on third party devs
Okay.
like Activision and like Double Fine, Disney, 2K, Warner Bros, Konami, Atlas, Sega,
Kind of
Paradox, From, Capcom.
Atlas,
Yeah, the guys who made Persona.
right?
There's like a ton of people signed on as like the third party devs, but they didn't really announce many games.
Um, no, a couple of them were kind of disappointing. Hmm. One of them in general was just kind of like, yeah, I don't give a shit about that. But um,
They did lots of cool stuff with like the first party shit.
oh yeah, yeah. Um,
Molecule. Did you see that part where they did the PlayStation Move like musical thing?
dude, no, I saw that. Were they headbanging and everything?
Yeah, well they did. Well, before that they modeled out the characters and stuff using the controller.
Oh, really? No,
Yeah.
I saw this like gameplay of it where it's kind of, I just made me laugh. It didn't really seem like really too impressive to me, but I didn't see the like before that.
Well, it's probably really heavily scripted and not so much a game as much as a demo.
Yeah,
And even if it is a game, I mean, I'll play it. Like, it's one of those games that's done in a style where you'll play it once and then never play it again.
yeah.
So,
I'm trying to think. Deep Down was pretty impressive by
yeah, well, it
Capcom.
looked good, but they didn't, like, graphically, but they didn't show any gameplay, so
Was that just a cinematic trailer? Was that
pretty
like
much, I think so.
yeah?
It
Because
might have been live rendered, I don't know. Here's
they
the thing.
added
If that stuff was being live rendered, it probably was being live rendered, emulated as a PS4 on a PC.
yeah.
Just like they do when they go to E3 or PAX or anywhere, all that shit's just on a PC in the back that you can't see. And so, even if, like, based off what we saw, I'm not going to say any of these games are good or bad.
No, well,
Right after the Deep Down, though, fuck Square and their goddamn Final Fantasy message. They're just like, we are making a Final Fantasy. See it at E3. Walk off the stage. Damn you!
oh, that was fantastic. What was the game they showed? I can't find it. I don't remember like the name of it. Or did they
Um,
not like release a name for it?
Didn't they do Deep Down? And then they did Final Fantasy right after.
I thought Deep. Oh yeah, never mind.
Yeah, I thought that's what it
I thought
was.
Deep Down was Capcom, but I
Oh,
think
it is Capcom.
that's their engine, Panther Ray, which just sounds weird to me. But
No, that was Capcom that did Deep Down.
I don't see it. Polygon doesn't have it.
I can't remember what Square did at... I'm sorry, I just bothered to look it up.
No, I thought it was on that article, but
All okay, they did it right after Deep Down, which was Capcom. The guy from
yeah.
Square walked on stage and he's just like, "We're making Final Fantasy. Come see it at E3," and then walked off the stage.
And then
It's
they
like,
played.
fuck you.
Yeah.
And then like you had what was it? Infamous Second Son.
Yeah.
That was surprisingly hilarious to watch, the speech leading up to it, because Jonathan Blow followed it up, and he's the guy who made Braid.
Yeah.
You did something terribly wrong if you managed to be more pretentious and more of an asshat than Jonathan Blow when you're doing a presentation. Jonathan Blow this time, he walks on stage, he's like, this is my puzzle game, it's open world, we do this kind of stuff, and showed some gameplay. It was like really down to earth. The guy before, in 1991, I was maced by the police when protesting. I used to think the police were there to protect us, but now I don't think that. Like, that's his setup for his fucking game. Fuck you, jackass. Stupid hippies.
I'm watching that. Right? I didn't see the actual Infamous trailer.
Well, apparently it has gameplay in it, but I wouldn't believe that.
It looks like cinematic. Maybe. Yeah. I never played those games, so I can't really like judge.
They're not bad. I'm not gonna buy a system over it. Is the thing.
Yeah, no, that's definitely not, because it's not a. Is that an exclusive for PS4?
It's an exclusive for PS4. Like it's made by Sony, so.
Okay. Yeah. Well, not that exciting.
Knack looked cool. It was like the only thing that they actually showed any real gameplay from for like an extended period of time. They even showed that it works with crossplay.
That's cool. Yeah, I like the style of it. It's not.
We know nothing about it, but I mean it looked interesting.
Yeah. Killzone didn't.
Whatever, Killzone.
It's a shooter. Yeah, looks like a shooter. Okay. Next to the worst and best announcements, Diablo 3 on PS3.
Okay, when that came up, I was like, I knew that this day would eventually come. That Diablo 3 would come out on console. I knew it had to happen. But I was still pissed because and a lot of people were like, oh, well, you don't have a right to be pissed that it's just coming out on console. It's like, no, I have a right to be pissed because I played it since the very first day of closed beta. So I have like a familiarity with the development of that game that other people don't have. That game, fucking early closed beta, and like it played nothing like what it does now. Nothing at all. It was so much closer to PS2. I mean, D2, and not PS2, but it was so much closer to Diablo 2. The stat system was similar. It was mechanically the same. It was really good. It wasn't as good as Diablo 2, but I was enjoying it, even though I only had one act to play. But then, like 2 weeks before it went to that first open beta weekend, they released a patch that took out all that stuff, streamlined the shit out of everything, and my friend Jeff, who's been on the podcast a bunch of times, Jeff and I were both just like, oh, well, this is a flaming piece of shit now, and they're clearly releasing this for console. Well, here's the fucking console release that killed Diablo 3.
Yeah,
So thanks, Blizzard.
Blizzard got on stage and I was kind of like, this could be really exciting because they have quite a bit of power.
Maybe they're announcing Titan or whatever it was.
Yeah.
Then it's just fucking Diablo 3, the game that no one liked.
All I said, I was talking to my friend Andrew. I'm like, dude, they're gonna have so much fun with all those errors when it's on PS3. That's like, I was like, I mean,
finally, our console brethren can enjoy the wonders that was Auction Simulator 2012.
Yeah.
Not only, it's the most realistic auction simulator of all of the auction simulators, because this one uses real money.
It's true.
Yep.
It's true.
You can't get more realistic than that.
It's as real as it can get.
I mean, besides going to a real auction and buying physical things with your real money.
But why would you want to do that?
Yeah, I know. Then you got to leave the house. That's not a thing that we do.
Not gonna happen.
Clearly, very, very blatant with our complaints about social gaming being the cancer that is killing us all.
Yeah, they just headed in the wrong direction. Yeah, I definitely didn't expect that. was pretty disappointed when they announced it. But
I expected to eventually see that happen just because of like how I saw like Diablo 3 progress through beta, but I was still upset and pissed.
yeah,
Because it's just like all of my anger at that game has been revisited basically. I'm pretty sure that like the first time that I posted about like that I actually talked about the PlayStation meeting, instead of talking about the PlayStation meeting, I really just talked about that announcement and how eventually one day I would gut the staff of Blizzard because of the terrible things they do to us. And yet I'm still like this fucking close to buying Mr. Pandaria because I really want to play an MMO. And I've sadly came to the realization that World of Warcraft is probably the best one. Besides EverQuest and EverQuest 2.
I've been in that mood, but I definitely not forking over money or playing WoW. So I'm waiting for Elder Scrolls. If that's a giant bust, then I'll just deal with Counter-Strike.
We can play Path of Exile. Game's so fucking good. I've been playing that so much this week. I forgot to talk about that, but it's too late for that now.
You're done. Watch Dogs was my game of that conference.
Yeah, but I mean, you're gonna get it's confirmed for Wii U, it's confirmed for 360 and PS3, and I'd assume that it'll come out on the next gen Xbox as well. And I'd assume it will come out on PC, but it's a Ubisoft game, so it's not so much a question of will it come out on PC, but when will it come out on PC?
No, it's a question of that and how shitty of a port will they do.
Yeah, pretty much.
Damn it, I didn't. Okay, well, I didn't know that it wasn't a PS or a Sony exclusive, so that.
No, it's far from it. So it's like, hey, we announced some stuff, but it's on every other system, so it doesn't matter, including current gen. So it's not even gonna look that much fucking better.
Right. That's a little weird because I did think that was a PS4 exclusive, but hey, that's good news for me because then I don't have to buy a PS4 just to play that. Other than that, though, I mean, they didn't really release too many other games besides those are announced.
Yeah, they didn't really announce a lot of games, which is actually something that I wanted to talk about because, like, that's why I wanted to save all of our complaints. But oh wait, okay, I want to move on to one more thing, and then I want to talk about like not announcing games and stuff, and I want to talk specifically about like what they did with this announcement and kind of what I think they're going to do and why I think it's actually a smart idea in comparison to other people. So this one's really quick, just to talk like skim over. They're gonna support 4K resolution for like movies and photos and TV and shit.
Yeah,
but not for games, obviously. Because, I mean, they're looking at doing 1080p 30 FPS. So to tell me that they're going to be doing 4K, even though Sony said they're not doing 4K, developers said they're not doing 4K, and everyone said it's impossible, doesn't mean that they're going to, like, means they're not going to do 4K. So when I respond to someone who's asking, are they doing 4K, and give a source, please don't tell me that it is totally possible and they're doing it, even though everyone else, including Sony, said they're not doing it. Yeah. You asshole. Strawman me more. I'm sorry, I had to put that in there because, I mean, 10-page argument where I just get strawmanned.
Yeah.
Fucking strawmans. But yeah, like, it's cool that they're doing the 4K support for movies and stuff. Not that I'm interested in 4K because there's no TVs that do it yet. But it, like, very mildly future-proofs it. So.
Yeah. But only so you can watch your 4K movies and photos. But
yeah, but even modern PCs can't push 4K for games.
That's right.
It's really hard because it's a huge jump in pixel processing, so then you have to reduce the amount of shader effects, like, to try to get back down to where you were before, but even at that, it's possibly not enough, so then you have to reduce polygon count, object count, and everything else, because all that stuff is handled on the same shader, because unified shaders. So,
yeah.
like, you have to really cut down on what the graphical fidelity is just to jump the resolution up 4 times. So it's not really worth it.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you really want to play games that look like PS1 but are resolution of 4K. Super low poly count, terrible textures, no shading.
Yeah, it's a decent trade-off. Yeah, that's kind of a weird announcement though. If they said they weren't supporting, and then
Well, I think it's because Sony is releasing like a new 4K TV, and people were asking like whether or not it'll support 4K resolutions for their games. But I think everyone who knows anything about like hardware or gaming or software knows that
yeah,
it's not gonna fucking happen.
yeah, if it didn't happen in PC, then
Yeah, because taking well, not old. I mean, APUs are pretty new. They're okay. The idea of the AMD APU is new, but the hardware used inside those APUs is not. But like, you're not gonna take weak PC hardware and all of a sudden be pushing 4K resolutions in Skyrim. So, and I'd rather see that extra power go to things like FOV not being 60.
right.
I'd like to see some options in games so you can like set your FOV and stuff on your console. So, because I mean, a lot of people play sitting like 8 feet away from their TV, where 60 FOV is perfectly good. But like, I live in a house where I just have this room and it's 9 by 9, so I actually am sitting like 4 feet away from a TV when I do play console games. So 60 is like low. And then on PC, I mean 60 is unplayable, so. But you know, Call of Duty.
Yeah, gotta get that Quake effect on.
That 120 plus.
Oh yeah.
It's the way to play. I play everything like that.
You know what though? I tried was it Deus Ex in a higher FOV than it was set at, and it kind of looked weird.
It starts to fisheye.
Yeah.
If you're not used to it, it looks weird. I don't think it's weird because, I don't know, it like, the reason why it seems kind of weird is that like your vision naturally fisheyes, so then you're looking at another thing that's fisheyeing.
Yeah.
And even though it's like not your whole field of view, like your natural field of view, but from like a perspective of does this look realistic, 120 is like a more natural FOV, seeing as humans see like 180.
That'd probably be why then. Yeah, I would like to see that too on consoles. I'm trying to think. I play. I can't even find it. It's funny because Minecraft had your FOV set as 110 is Quake Pro. It's great. That's what I play in, but like, and that fisheyes quite a bit when you look at it. But
well, most games only go up to 90.
Hmm.
Like Deus Ex, I'd be surprised if it goes past 90.
I don't think it might, but like it might be like 95. I'm not sure. Anywho.
So, do you just want to talk about like the presentation overall and like the timing?
Yeah.
Because a lot of people who I think don't know what they're talking about think that like it was a bad idea to announce the console this week and that they should have saved it for E3. This console's guaranteed for a 2013 holiday release, so it's going to come out in October or very early November.
Yeah, I feel like it's a great move to announce it now. Like, why? I don't know why not.
Yeah. Plus, they can save like they didn't announce a lot of games, but they can announce the games like later in the year. They have enough time to start marketing the PS4 on its hardware features, and start announcing games and build hype for it. Like the problem with announcing consoles at E3 is it always kills the entire like trade show, and it's never a good announcement. It's always a shitty one because you're really limited on time and space.
Yeah, and I feel like there's so many other things that get announced then that it's it overshadows like some aspects that shouldn't be, like and then also gets like outplayed by something. So yeah, it's
Well, the thing is that E3 isn't a gaming convention. It's a trade show for getting investors. So like investors aren't interested in your announcement for your console and showing features. They want to know like how well you think it's going to sell and what games there are. And if you announce at E3, you're not going to be able to do games cuz you only get an hour and like Sony meeting was 3 hours long.
yeah, it was
So,
a long presentation.
yeah. I mean, not all of it was the PlayStation 3 or PlayStation 4, but like the vast majority of it
No,
was.
but they covered the material that they should have.
Yeah.
Like in what they were what they announced, it was all relevant material. So
Like, I
yeah.
think this was totally the perfect time to announce. Because the thing is, if they announce at E3, it's too late in the year to, like, get everything in order and, like, to market the shit out of it. Because you can't
Oh,
just announce it at the end of June and expect people to have $600 by October to buy it.
right. That's also true. Like they didn't really announce a price though. That it's kind of more of
No,
a
but, I
based on the
mean, you'd
hardware.
assume that it's going to be $600 because that's just what consoles launch at.
Okay.
Like, I mean, the 360 launched in that area, and the PlayStation 4, or I mean, the PlayStation 3 launched at that area in the United States. It was $900 in Canada, but which is why I was never on board with last gen because last gen was $750 for an Xbox 360 and $900 for a PS3. At which point you could just build a gaming PC,
Yeah.
and you could build a really good gaming PC if you just put the $600 in the desktop that you would have to build anyways into that, because then you could build a $1,500 computer and have that kind of like exactly what I did. I've been like I used the same $1,500 computer until like 3 years ago.
Yeah. No,
So
it's well worth the investment. But yeah, I I disagree though that it's a bad time to announce it, and how they did it was a good way to do
I'd
it.
way rather see them just announce like the hardware and like a couple games and show off some tech abilities like they did,
Yeah.
and then do like games later in the year at
Yeah.
like E3. Like don't even do your first party stuff at E3 and just let all the other people who are announcing games and want to show off games let them just do it themselves because that's what's going to happen, right?
Right. It's. I mean, they did handle it well, and I feel like they handle it well, but at the same time, like we said, Watch Dogs really wasn't. Like it's cool because it gets people interested because it's a hyped title, but it doesn't really show capabilities. Really, it's more of just a game, not anything really impressive. So, but
Yeah. But I think that like it's the only way that they would have enough time to actually do all the marketing and get people like ready to buy this.
yeah,
Because the thing is, like $600 is a lot of money, and people are gonna have to save pretty much all year to be able to buy the damn things on day one, like they want to do.
right,
And so, like you can't just say that you're gonna release it in June. Like you can't announce it in June, release it in October, and expect to sell it well. Because like your fanboys and like the people who are gonna, like the loyal kind of fanboy base, aren't gonna buy it day one because they won't have enough money,
yeah. Well,
and
kind of
it'll
like
help with the attach rate.
With the Microsoft system, they're gonna have to. Like, I'm glad
Here's
that
the
they
thing:
announced.
if they announce Durango at E3, which it actually is rumored that it will be announced the middle of like next month or the beginning of April, but if they announce it at E3, I don't expect to see it until late Q1 2014, early Q2 2014. Because same thing, they can't just like announce it at the end of June and release it in October.
Yeah,
So
no, that definitely makes sense.
so yeah, I mean unless they announce Durango like in the next month or so, I'm doubtful that it'll get a 2013 release, which actually gives the PS4 like a huge advantage because they get that holiday release, right?
That's right. That's definitely a big thing that I don't know because with how Microsoft did their last system, they pushed it to get released holiday season, right?
Yeah. And the
That it wasn't.
PS4 came about or the PS3 came like 6 or 9 months later.
So, no, it's definitely a good move, and it makes a lot of sense thinking about it now. And I think Microsoft will release it soon, though. Didn't they say that they were waiting for Sony to release theirs, though, like announce it?
I don't even care about that. That stuff was so retarded. Because Sony said they were doing the same thing. And
Okay.
it's like, hey, look, we're announcing this console.
By the way,
That was retarded. That was one of the stupidest things I've seen in a long time because it didn't make any sense. Just announce your damn consoles because, like, the thing is, if Sony announces their console and it's like, these are our hardware specs, and then, like, 2 months later, Microsoft wants to announce their console, is the thing. The thing is, they won't have been able to change the hardware specs in order to get, like, a more powerful system.
right?
Like, whatever they've been using for the last 6 months is what they've been using for the last 6 months, and that's it. So
Yeah, there's no point in
it's not
holding it
changing.
off.
Unless they're
Yeah.
going to delay the console, and that would be stupid, because then they'll probably lose the generation. They'll get the late start, and then be stuck on the 360 and lose the generation, because I don't think that people will wait for, like, 9 months for, like, a new PlayStation, or for, like, a new Xbox to get announced after the PlayStation 4 has been out, so... But that's just me. I'm a PC gamer. What do I know about console gamers?
Yeah.
Besides that, they're retarded.
Oh, recklessly called out.
They're not retarded. Anyone who only owns one system and refuses to move to another one's retarded. That's why I own a Wii U. Because that thing's fucking fun.
I am not one of those persons.
Yeah, but you and I are in different positions, whereas you don't have the money to just buy a fucking Wii U.
True. Very true.
Whereas I kind of, at the time, did. I don't so much have it now. Kind of wish I had that money. But, you know, whatever.
Whatever. You get your money is worth it at least.
Yeah, when Monster Hunter comes out, I'll be happy. So, I guess that's it.
That was a good length.
Yeah, it was a good length. It was a
Good amount of
reasonably okay podcast. I think that we stayed on topic because there was only one.
Yeah.
Only one topic this week.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess this has been the 6th episode of the Dapper Gaming Podcast, so thanks for joining us. Also, I am working on doing some more things that will make the video more useful in this podcast that I maybe ripped off of some other people, at least the idea. Even though I've always wanted to do it, but now I've saw how they did it, and now I most definitely think I can do it, so be ready for that. More video, more useful video. Also, I forgot, we're on iTunes now.
Oh.
So there is an audio version of this podcast if you're watching on YouTube, and we are on iTunes. So if you want to sub to that, you can go ahead and sub to that and listen to this in the exact same audio quality, because actually probably even a little better. But
upgrade.
Yeah, because I master it a little bit. At least better than the live version, because I do some compression and fix some things from the live version. The VOD and like the iTunes one, exact same audio track, so I mean, no different. But yeah, this has been the 6th episode of the Dapper Gaming Podcast. I've been Ryan, and thanks for watching.